I never expected my military past to matter in the suburbs. I bought this house to live quietly, grow old with my wife, and keep my combat days behind me. But one Saturday morning, all of that changed when a group of hired muscle showed up at my door, pretending to be something they weren't. By sundown, the neighborhood bully who sent them learned the hard way that I wasn't the man to mess with. Before we get into it, comment where you're watching from. I'd love to know how far this story travels. It started early that morning when Sarah stepped outside to feed the dogs. A white cargo van she didn't recognize crept down the street and stopped right in front of our driveway. 4 men stepped out dressed in black with fake security patches sewn onto their vests. They looked official enough at first glance, but Sarah picked up on the details right away. Their boots were cheap knockoffs, and their gear looked like it came straight out of a Halloween aisle. The one with a shaved head strode up like he owned the place. "We're here for an HOA security inspection," he said, waving around a clipboard with blank pages. Sarah crossed her arms and told him flat out, "The HOA doesn't have security, and even if they did, you're not welcome on private property." That should have been the end of it. But then one of the men, the cockiest of the bunch, stepped forward, snatched the phone out of Sarah's hand, and shoved her shoulder so hard she nearly fell into the flower bed. That's when I heard her shout. I was in the workshop cleaning my tools when the sound hit me like a gunshot. I dropped everything and bolted outside. There they were, 4 guys puffing up their chests around my wife like they were in charge of something. My blood went cold, and training I hadn't used in years came rushing back. I walked straight toward them, voice low and even. "Step away from my wife," the bald one sneered. "You the guy ignoring HOA fines?" "Yeah, we were told to make you listen." My blood went cold, and training I hadn't used in years came rushing back. I walked straight toward them, voice low and even. "Step away from my wife," the bald one sneered. "You the guy ignoring HOA fines?" "Yeah, we were told to make you listen, so either you cooperate, or we'll make you cooperate." He had no idea what kind of man he was threatening. Sarah didn't hesitate. She darted back inside and locked the door. She knew I was about to handle it. I planted my feet, squared my shoulders, and said, "You've got 2 choices. Leave now, or find out what happens when you push the wrong man." Instead of listening, one of them reached for a baton clipped to his belt. That was all I needed. My hand shot out, twisted his wrist until the baton dropped, and I drove a knee straight into his midsection. He collapsed with a wheeze before he even knew what hit him. The second guy lunged at me wild and sloppy. I sidestepped, grabbed his collar, and sent him sprawling face first into the dirt. The bald leader tried to save face by shouting, "You're assaulting security officers." I stepped nose with him and growled, "No, I'm stopping criminals from assaulting my wife." Big difference. The last guy tried to run. I caught him by the vest, yanked him backward, and slammed him against the hood of their van. He froze, hands up, realizing he just tangled with someone who actually knew what he was doing. By then, Sarah was back outside, phone in hand, recording everything. "Sheriff's already on the way," she shouted. When the deputies pulled up minutes later, they found 4 wannabe tough guys scattered across my yard, one groaning on the ground, another clutching his ribs, a third with his face scraped up, and their leader pinned against his own van. The deputies disarmed them, tore off their fake vests, and hauled them into cuffs. It didn't take long for the truth to spill. The bald leader cracked under questioning. He admitted they weren't security at all. They'd been hired by none other than our HOA president, a woman named Linda Parker. She had promised them cash to teach us a lesson for ignoring her endless stream of bogus fines. At that point, it wasn't just harassment. It was organized intimidation. When the sheriff asked if I wanted to press charges, I didn't hesitate. "Every charge you've got," I told him. That evening, Linda tried to go on the offensive. She filed her own complaint, claiming I'd assaulted her contractors and damaged the HOA's reputation. My lawyer nearly laughed in her face with video evidence of impersonation, assault, and trespassing. She doesn't stand a chance. Court came fast. On her side, Linda, smug and polished, whispering frantically to her attorney. On mine, Sarah, calm and dead silent. Every smug word Linda had rehearsed vanished in smoke. The judge leaned forward. "Mrs. Parker, these men are criminals. You hired them. Not only is this case dismissed, but you're personally liable for damages. My attorney stood. Your Honor, we're filing a counterclaim for conspiracy, harassment, and emotional distress. My clients deserve justice. Linda's face drained of color. The HOA board members sitting in the gallery wouldn't even look at her. Her empire of control, built on fear and intimidation, collapsed in a single morning. As for her hired thugs, they were taken straight to county jail. No bail, multiple felony counts, and a criminal record that would follow them for life. After court, the sheriff shook my hand. Most people would have panicked, he said. Good thing you kept your cool. You probably saved your wife from worse. I nodded and wrapped my arm around Sarah. Linda thought she could scare us into submission with cheap muscle and fake authority. Instead, she lost everything. And me? I went back to my quiet life. But the neighborhood knew one thing for certain. This was not the house to test.